Hey everybody, welcome to week 2 of ICT 4010 Enterprise Architecture. Wanted to give you just a brief intro to the week, set you up for success for tomorrow night in our Zoom class. So this will certainly not be as long as the last one was. Okay. Um, we're off to a good start. Thanks for everyone filling out their introductions. I really appreciated the fact that we had such a good back and forth last week. I'm giving everybody 5 points, even though it's supposed to be a 0 point lesson. Rule number one, never work for free unless it's a charity. So, a couple of questions. We'll discuss them. You think the textbook needs updating, and then we're going to look at some discussion questions that you would have given comments on and back and forth, but we'll do those during the class. And again, we'll talk about the assignments since you've got your first paper due later this weekend. All right, so we continue to understand enterprise architecture methodologies. If you read the history, that PDF, that long PDF I sent you, you got a sense of where the stuff is coming from and where its influences are. We're going to have an expert presentation on that during the class tomorrow night, so keep that in mind. So 3 voluntary presentations. I'm glad I'm not doing it. So you will earn amazing class credit for your participation grade. So be prepared to discuss the weekly questions in class, and here they are. Discuss and differentiate the major types of architecture. Remember, we talked about enterprise, and then as you get into, all right, here's a database for managing donors. Here's several solutions, and here's how it's built, and then the technical. Okay, the storage of that is going to be here. We're going to use a storage area network, a fiber channel. We're going to have fiber channel NICs coming from. We're going to dual port it so that we can have multiple reads and make it fast, and all that kind of stuff. So what interests you the most? There's no right answer here. Sometimes you want to get the technical thing. Sometimes you're more of a big picture person. We'll discuss that. So make sure instead of, this is right from the syllabus here, your fellow students are not going to post. So we'll have some feedback. This is not stump the chumps or anything like that, but just a discussion. Okay, and then look at and be prepared to discuss the differences between the major frameworks. We'll have the introduction from the annex handout from Katusev's book that I gave you first, and then we'll have a little bit of a discussion there. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right, we continue to look at EA methodologies. Thea and Zachman are important, but the descendant that is a primary focus right now is TOGAF, and we'll take a fairly tight look at all of this. I'm just going to give you a word to the wise. I told you a bit about all the charts and diagrams. EA practitioners love diagrams, and it's not just the back of a cocktail napkin. Sometimes the diagrams are so complex, it's like it's a diagramming company rather than putting stuff together and making it work. What do we have? What do we need? How do we get there? What does it cost? You don't need a big diagram for that. So anyway, and they'll never use somebody else's workflow process because then people won't pay outrageous fees for that consultancy. So anyway, I told you that, so just a word to the wise there. This is just a really good idea. You've got business and strategic actors like we talked about, strategic IT, tactical IT, business IT, strategic IT, and then third parties. It's important some are internal, some are external. It's important to understand what these people's roles are and how they communicate across their boundaries. Just super important. Okay, so the learning objectives, you're going to look at the three kinds of enterprise architectures. You're going to look at three kinds of framework and understand ADM, which is a part of TOGAF. So understand all those areas because it's going to become important to you soon. All right, we went over this assignment, preparing for it. Look at a particular company, and I told you about how you can do that. You don't have to have several companies, but just do one company and focus on that. All right, we broke it down into point by point what you've got to do, 1, 2, 3, and then some sub-points. Digital transformation, for-profit, public, not-for-profit, etc. And then make sure that you meet the resources, etc. And as I mentioned before, the rubric is your friend. Look at content, clarity, and grammar, the UCall style guide, all that happy stuff, and you'll do a great job. Looking forward to seeing everyone in class tomorrow night. Thanks for taking time to walk through this, and have a great week. Bye-bye now.